Welcome back, fellow adventurers. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing adventures in the Forgotten Realms. Alright, we are outside the planar sphere. Let me sort of explain a little bit here. This is obviously up in the corner here. I figure most of you are Dungeons & Dragons players to some degree. If not, well, great. Love having everybody along for the adventures. That's wonderful, of course. It's really sort of a multiverse. There are multiple worlds in this setting, and you add in spell jamming into it. It's sort of a little different. Some people do, some people don't. Spell jamming is just sort of a way to turn ships and other things built by beings, not just humans, obviously, that magically can travel between planets and stars and things like that, without going all science fiction-y and spacey. It's each sort of solar system is in a bubble. The stars are really just sort of points out on the edge of the bubble, and the planets are in there, and you zip around on spell enhanced ships to go between planets, and the other planets are maybe very, very odd and weird, Mars-like environments, but they have and it varies, but have oxygen atmospheres, though out in space there's an oxygen, but you sort of get oxygen magically attached to your ship, kind of thing. So that's sort of spell jamming. Whether you have that or not, theoretically, there's a bunch of planets out there that are Dungeons and Dragons like the Forgotten Realms, Tyrol, or Faerun, or I guess what Tyrol is the planet. Faerun, I don't know. Sort of messed up on that concept, but what labels Faerun is the old fairy / elven name for it, I believe. So that, and then you have like the world of Greyhawk or Orth, and you have these other, and Kryn, and you have these other sort of worlds that are out there, whether that it's theoretically magically one way or another, you can get to other worlds. That's why we'll be seeing some stuff here coming up. Now, outside of, and this is all in what is called the prime material plane. It basically, within the Dungeons and Dragons universe, reacts and acts just about like how we understand. Well, then they sort of take some of the cosmology and understanding of sort of the Middle Ages and the classical world, which there, and mixes those all together. So you have sort of inner planes that have the elements, because they used to believe that an element was like fire, was like earth, was air, and water. Obviously, we know different now, but they sort of believed that there were these elements. Now, Dungeons and Dragons sort of postulates that there's these sort of planes that have these essences in them. Those are sort of the inner planes, and there's sort of quasi-planes that are sort of where the two planes that mix, sort of like, I don't know, the plane of mud, where water and earth sort of mix, and other things like that, and you can get sort of more and more elaborate if you wish. Then there are the outer planes, and I'm keeping this very basic partially because I can sort of remember that and keep it short. The outer planes are sort of like the afterlife planes, if you will. They represent where you go based upon your alignment. So when you die, though that isn't 100% strictly true, but it's generally sort of true. And so there's, and they sort of take off from, people used to say, or people say, I'm in seventh heaven, and I think there's some sort of religious like layers of heaven. Well, that's sort of it. In one heaven or whatever, I think it's lawful good. I'm probably messed this up, but has 7 different layers of it, and the higher you go, the better it is, or whatever. And then you can go to, for like chaotic evil, you go to the abyss, and there's 666 layers of the abyss, so you get that. Or the 9 hells, it's sort of lawful evil, if you go in. But there's also sort of denizens of these planes that are sort of natural to them, like demons and devils, or angels, or other sorts of things that are there innately to the planes, and they all sort of connect at the edge, connect around. There's the sigil, which is sort of a weird sort of these sort of weird planes. It's sort of the sort of at the center and sort of connects. It's a place of doors. It's sort of you're inside of an inverted donut, if you will, though without you know, that you get to walk around in, and it's sort of really odd if you get there. So and then there's obviously, which we were a little while ago, on the astral plane, if you believe about people believe that you can project yourself astrally. Well, they sort of create a plane out there that's sort of connects to everywhere else, and it's sort of the astral plane, and you can either physically travel to the astral plane, which is what I presume we did when we went through that fireplace thingy, or you can astrally project yourself, in which your body stays on the prime material plane, or theoretically other planes you're on, and a projection of you goes there that has all of your gear and equipment and everything else, but there's sort of a silver cord that's connected, that's theoretically possible to cut, but sort of difficult to cut, but sort of weird. But it doesn't, meaning you can be locked into somewhere, but you still have the cord connecting you. So there's sort of two ways to go to the astral plane. Then there's also the astral plane connects sort of to everywhere, at least the upper layers of the various multi-layered outer planes. And then you also have the ethereal plane, which is sort of another thing like the astral plane, but it's different rules. You sort of go ethereal, and it's also sort of connected, but it's more directly connected because, like, we can get at boots of etherealness, so that you're sort of here. We've sometimes seen the demons go ethereal, sort of like you're sort of on the other plane, but you're moving through this plane, but you can't directly affect this plane, meaning you can't go stab somebody in the back. Now you can sort of stab somebody in the back by dematerializing back, or materializing back, I should say, from the ethereal, and then stabbing kind of thing. But you can sort of, if you're there and you're moving around, you can sort of, like through a fog or a haze, see the prime material plane, is how I understand it works when you're close to it. But I guess you can go deep ethereal, which goes very far away from any of the other planes, so you can travel deeply ethereal. But these all sort of connect. And then there's also sort of above and below things, if you will, the positive plane and the negative plane. Negative plane is, so like vampires drain you with negative plane protection. They sort of suck the life out of you. The negative plane sort of sucks life out of you. The positive plane generates life, if you will. So there's a sort of, all this cosmology goes there, and you go with sometimes you need tokens, sometimes you need things of protection. You can go to these other planes, if you have the right protection from fire. I don't know if the simple ring of ballista here that we have a few copies of would do it, but you go to the plane of fire, and there is just areas that are, now how you exactly breathe, I don't know, but obviously fire needs oxygen, but don't get too scientific-y on them. That the whole plane, there's, just areas that are just up, down, left, right, with no necessarily any gravity, that just fire. But then there's also, I guess, intrusions or whatever, that sometimes it may be made up of, presumably maybe near the earth plane, sort of things like rocks or lava fields that you could sort of walk on, as well as maybe hardened fire. It sort of gives you substance but still burns. So if you have a protection from fire ring on it, you and all your stuff are protected, but as soon as you say drop a piece of paper, let it go, it will then immediately catch fire and burn up. So long as you have it in your hand, it's fine. If it's somehow protected in and of itself on its own, so that there are sort of cities and beings and things you can interact. There's been some great stories that I've read that of adventures that travel across like the plane of fire for a while, and everybody has to be somewhat protected, but go on these various ventures on various planes. And there's all these other sorts of planes out there that various, like demi-planes, meaning a plane theoretically is infinite, but then there's demi-planes that can be very small and very finite, meaning the size of a room. That's sort of, and theoretically a bag of holding is sort of that kind of a thing to some degree. But so you get all this stuff. Now this planar sphere, obviously it's a big huge sphere, the planar sphere, and it's the idea that it has mechanisms in it to be able to travel to these different, presumably all of the planes, and be protected while you're within them. So if you wanted to, and there's all kinds of magic, if you want to forge magic items, sometimes if you want them to drain things, you want to do it on the negative plane, or you want it to got a lot of energy in it, you want to do it on the positive plane, all kinds of stuff, or get components. There's lots of reasons, and since these planes are infinite, there's lots of places to explore, and theoretically you can also go through a multitude of undetermined, meaning no one's drawn up the geography rules or whatever, shall we say, that make up the Forgotten Realms or the world of Greyhawk or these other worlds. There's many other Dungeons and Dragons like Dark Sun World or whatever, all these other worlds out there that exist that you could go explore. So it would be obviously a wonderful way to go exploring. Now, whether you want to appear in the middle of a city and swallow up parts of buildings and whatever happens to the people and things, and that may not be always the best, but you could obviously show up outside the city gates in your sphere, and since like this sphere they talk about he needs to touch it or whatever, so it can only be opened presumably by certain people, and so it's protected. So you show up there, whether you want to do it secretly or openly, show up and then lock your car and go on your local adventures, see what's going on, and when you're ready to go, or you just want to have a cool place to sleep, or do things, so you have this sphere. So that's sort of what it all is. Just in case you didn't know, I sort of kind of presume most people that are watching this have at least played through the basic game. That's my presumption, just because this is sort of the super advanced version with all of the mods. Okay, well, so we're back here.
I like the bustle of the city. So many interesting people. I'll do it.
I will do my best.
So let's see. Now, supposedly he's there, so we've been able to open the door.
Yes.
Another example of the planar sphere would be the TARDIS of Doctor Who. Now that one also traveled in time, but not just. And the Doctor, especially if you know the history of the Doctor pretty well,
Happy, joy, joy.
you'll know he's traveled
joy,
to other
joy.
planes of reality as well.
Very well.
Especially if you like the Tom Baker years. Yes, I'm a bit of a Doctor Who nerd as well.
Done.
Okay.
Are you too one of Sorokist's goons?
Who's Sarkis? No, what is he still? No, we're not gonna. Do we have the heirloom? No, I guess we don't. Join me. Well, right now we're all full up. Guess you're Elven. Okay, well.
As you ask.
It's locked.
Ha!
Little one.
Do it!
It shall be.
Now for something that is supposedly only accessible by a few people.
Battle bow! Run, bow, run!
Okay, now if you notice, this is pool shows a bird's eye view of Athlaka. The planar sphere stands out like a magic beacon at the heart of the city. Though I notice, well, this is just the top of the copper coronet, I guess, because we'd be over here. How interesting! It tells us where we're at.
Consider it done.
With a smile.
What is my
Okay.
task?
Seeing eyes are blind.
We can't get through there yet. That, I think, is a bit new to me. Oh no, it's normally over here in another thing, I think. Boy, it's been a long time since I played this.
Oh, someone needs a tickle, someone needs a tickle! Smile already. Yeesh.
Well, let's put, just in case there's another thingy here. Better armor class.
It shall be.
Uh-oh. What type of golem? What type of golem? Clay, swords will work. Good.
Make way, villainy! Hero coming through! I bet that shall do the trick. Need another weapon. Dangerous mistake.
Should he be using his hammer? Yeah, hammer does better. There we go. Now, little one.
Hop, skip to it.
Consider it done.
Okay, well. Kelton's kinetic knives. Level 4, visual range of caster. Each knife steel. That could be really nice. Gotta be smart about that though. And minor spell turning and conjure lesser air elemental. Well, we might as well take the coal with us. We'll need that in time. Okay, and you've not found any.
You really need to clean.
With a smile.
I like to shine.
I will do my best.
Okay. Body parts. Polymorph other, and ooh, another one of these knife guys. And of course we can write magic, so it's no longer the Iridium sphere. But only one guy gets to know it. Golem arm. Planar key. That presumably will allow us to get deeper further into this.
Yes.
First. Okay, well.
My magic is wasted.
Don't use these as much as I should, of course. No, that didn't do it. Okay, well.
Very well.
And everything goes wonky. Use this sphere until the master allows it. Ooh, okay, well.
Done.
Seeing eyes are blind.
Isn't this
Now.
great? All of us doing nice things, being happy. It's great.
So now there's the sphere. We're in this demonic valley, so demonic, that would be the abyss.
Happy to help.
Now, I don't know if you're really meant to be seeing, well, maybe you are, or whether these are supposed to be tunnels or
As you asked.
you're supposed to be seeing the outside of things.
You are welcome in my sight.
Solemn, or solemn, yeah. It's a solemn. Well, I know these knights are from the world of Kryn. Not read any of the novels there, but Dragonlance novels. Spatial compressor. Spatial compressor. Okay, random transportation. Not my favorite idea. We have a remove. Does somebody have a remove curse? I don't think we have one memorized. But There we go. Well, let's wait a bit. Yeah. We rest here? Okay, well we can, so. Let's do so. Oh. Okay, let's. Yes, he can't heal, so. There we go. Now. Nothing else really of interest here. But everybody up.
What can I do?
Stones can.
A quest is vain.
Well, he never did. Did I? He's not going to find animals to charm. Rather have that next time we.
On my honor.
I'm so happy you brought me with you. I never imagined
It shall
you'd
be.
doing such great things.
These guys, okay. Now these are, my understanding is they're halflings from the Dark
What do you
Sun world.
require?
That's a better sword.
Consider it done.
Butt kicking, for goodness!
I'm so sweet. I've got rotting teeth and gums.
With all speed.
In Bearvan's name, it shall be done.
Well,
Where mince goes, evil stands aside.
It shall be.
I gather the halflings on Dark Sun are not
Consider it
that
done.
nice. Ooh, that's interesting. I don't think I remember that from before. Especially one that isn't hostile like that. Well, we're going to end the episode here and continue our adventures on the Planier Sphere, because you know what? We're no longer in the Forgotten Realms. See you next time for more.